Hi everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our 4 for 4 series. Yes, so by now you will have already made your kit and you will have already cut your papers. So today we're going to work on layout number 1, okay? And so if you have not made your kit and cut your papers, that's okay. There will be a video link below and you can actually go see how I made my kit and how I cut the papers, and then there'll be instructions listed below too. So no worries, all the information is below. And don't be in a hurry. Just because I'm working on layout 1 now, that doesn't mean you have to be, because this will be up for a little bit. You can absolutely take your time and you can repeat this as many times as you wish. There was one of my subscribers that told me she had repeated this 3 times in our first round. I think that is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so what we have is we have our papers that are cut. Now I have found that when I have my cut papers, that I keep them in order by the number, because remember, we wrote down the number of our papers, right? Because that's how you do the series, is you're numbering your papers. So my 1 and my 2 and 3 and so on. So I kept them in order by my number, not by size. I think that's easier, okay? And then of course I have my 4 cardstocks. And then we have our bonus sheet, okay? So I'm not going to keep that too far because we're going to talk about that. Okay, so we are going to start on layout 1, and then what I'm going to have you pull, of course, if you want, you know, your cardstock, pull one of them. And also, okay, I'm back. Already had a coughing fit, and we're only on layout 1. Yes, wow, okay. That's how we roll around here, right? Okay, so as I was saying, is that I'm going to have you pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of paper. And then, of course, your cardstock. Okay, so let's get started on that. And I'll repeat this twice, so don't worry. So from your number 1 paper, you're going to pick your 6 by 12. Okay, I'm trying to think. Yes, there we go. Okay, and then you're going to pick from your number 2 paper, your 2 by 5.5, and that's that little jobby. And then from your number 3 pattern, which would be my orange dot for me, would be the same size, the 2 by 5.5, and then your number 4 paper, you're going to have those 2 of those 1 by 12 inch strips. I mean, that's it. That is, I mean, already we're already starting to build a page. Oh, love how simple this can be. Now, with that, we have 5 pieces of paper. Now, I want to say right off the bat, regardless of what layout we're doing, if you don't want to use all of these, don't worry. You can skip these 2, and you could put that with your scrap, and then you would have a leftover for cards. So don't feel that if I say pick 5 pieces of paper, you don't have to use them all, because it doesn't matter. It's all about just starting with pre-cut papers and then having the process go quickly, okay? So what can we do? Well, of course, you know, one of my favorite designs, and we'll be talking about that coming up very soon, is our go-to designs, and this is one of mine right here. Okay, we'll talk more about that. But you absolutely could put your 6 by 12 piece of paper, which isn't that floral paper, just beautiful. I'm still trying to think which looks upside down or not. With florals, sometimes it's hard because they put them in both directions, but definitely look at the direction of your papers. It was the same way with these multicolor strips. I had to look at the design. I had to make sure the hearts was going the right way. Okay, again, same way with this. It's kind of hard. Ooh, yeah, sometimes you have to put it both ways and just see which looks better. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so what you can do is you can put your 6 by 12 in the middle and put these 2 1-inch pieces and then just butt them right up into the middle, and you have a band, and then you have these 2 to play with, okay? And then we're doing one photo, so you absolutely could just do it something as simple as this, and I think that's kind of what I did with in the last series. And then you can put your title up here, journaling down here, or journaling over here, some embellishments, and you're done. That is how simple this process can be. Okay, now with that, you can simply also shift this up, okay, and then you would have this up here, and then say if you had a lot of journaling, this would be a perfect place. Or if you wanted to do an embellishment scene, if you wanted to do that down here and bring your journaling down here and have your title up here, perfect. Okay, and then also too, the reverse of that, which, you know, it seems like for some designs they look better at the bottom versus the top. So don't be afraid to slide everything and see if this main image looks better up here or if it looks better down here, because sometimes designs are what we call bottom heavy. Yes, okay. And so then you could absolutely slide that down and do exactly what I just said. Put your photo here. You could put your title here, journaling up here, and also, well, I hadn't even got to the washi yet. Okay. And again, you have these 2 pieces of paper. Now, I'll talk about these 2 pieces of paper in a minute. So again, with this horizontal fashion, there's 3 different ways you could do that. Now with that too, don't be afraid that you can absolutely layer pieces. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay, say this amount is too much. Okay, say that, I have to move my lovely little brother there. Say that's too much for you. It's okay. Guess what? You can go ahead and overlap that. Okay, you can't do it wrong. You just can't do it wrong. Okay, so that was the horizontal. But say if you don't want to do that, you can certainly put it in the vertical fashion. And again, put it in the middle. Do that band. Okay, this makes for a nice design too. Put that photo in the middle. Keep everything. Title up here. Journaling down here. A couple little embellishments and a visual triangle. You're done. You are absolutely done. Love that. Okay, and then you can also flush it to the left and flush it to the right. Okay, so in just those few minutes, there was 6 different designs of just using these 3 pieces of paper. These here are just bonuses. Yes, this is bonus to play, okay? So again, and then don't be afraid to overlap, okay? And then also don't be afraid just to forget about it. Yes, you could simply go like this, do a couple little pieces here, photo, add some bling bling, title here, journaling down here, you're done. You don't even have to use all 5 pieces, okay? And then also too, depending on what papers you pick, it never hurts to flip things over to see what you have if something is not inspiring to you. It doesn't hurt. Now some of mine, some papers may not have a B-side, but it doesn't hurt to flip things, okay? And see what you have. Okay, so what will I do? Oh, no, let's talk about something else before I get the cart before the horse or the cart before the puppies. Yes, okay. So I'm telling you what, that floral they have, I'm wondering why it's hard for me, because they have the floral sprays going in both directions. So I will just have to see which one looks the better. Okay, so say we're going to do this horizontal band, and I'll just do this because to me this is the simplest design in the world. Yes, simple. Okay, so then with that, you have these 2 strips here. Okay, so what you can do when you have these 2 gaps here, or not gaps, these seams, okay, is that you absolutely could take your washi and go right over that. Either one. You could do washi on both, or you could absolutely take one washi up here and then one washi down here. Okay, now if you don't want to go direct to paper, don't forget that I call this the Vanessa Trick, because my friend Vanessa Bell, she taught me to use washi over a cardstock. And so you can see, if I'll just leave that there. Look at this yellow. If I just go direct to paper, you see how that's different than that right there. So if you want more of a bolder look, put it on paper and then adhere it to your layout. Okay, and I'll just easily pull that up. Okay, so that when I use washi, because my papers are so busy, if I would use washi on this layout, that's exactly what I would do. Because otherwise it's going to get lost, because that floral has such a pattern and that photo play multicolor paper has such a pattern. And so I'm afraid my washi, especially this one that has text, let me show you here, that would get lost. Okay, I want those words to stand out. Yes, okay. This is a nice roll of washi. It says, love my family, family time, memories. That never gets old. Yes, can I get an amen? Okay, so then don't be afraid to use washi and then in more than one place and then more of one color. You can't go wrong because this is all in your kit. You can't go wrong, okay? Or maybe what you can also do is put one washi here. Okay, we're just going to play around, so just hang in there. You could put washi up here, and then you could come down here and put some ribbon. Okay, now I wanted to tell a quick tip. I showed this in the last series, and I want to show this now because since we are working with ribbon and texture on this round, what I do is when I'm using ribbon, I have learned over the years that when I'm applying ribbon, I will put wherever it's going to go. Say it's going to go on the seam down here at the bottom. I will put my score tape down first, and then I put my ribbon down, and then I flip it over the back. Okay, and if I use that ribbon I will make sure, I just leave that out. I'll make sure I show that. So what I do is I absolutely put my adhesive down first, which is my score tape. I love my score tape for my ribbon. I think that is about the only adhesive I have found for ribbon that when you go back to your pages, your ribbon hasn't shifted. Okay, so that's how I do that. I just want to show that. Again, you know, I have ribbon in different textures. I mean, look at that. Oh, that really... It's all about texture this round. Yes, look at that. Absolutely love. And then, of course, you know, I have this fringe. I don't know if I'll use the fringe with the puppies, but it makes me want to use that, okay? And then also, too, don't forget twine. That's more of that texture. And you can absolutely use twine in your seams. Just apply as some glue. That's all you have to do. You can also wrap it around. Wrap it around your photos. Yes, because not every photo has an image in the whole size, so you can absolutely wrap it around and also tie it in a bow. So don't be afraid to do that too. Okay, and you can absolutely put ribbon on your photos too. Okay, so now what else? If you don't want to do washi, no worries, I got you covered. Okay, I got you covered. Hang on. Now in my kit for myself, I put washi, ribbon, and of course, remember, we had our border stickers because I like using all three, because this is basically flat, this is basically flat, and this has a lot of texture. Okay, I like to do it all. Sometimes I like to put washi down beside a border sticker and put ribbon on top of it. Yes, you can absolutely have fun with these three supplies. It doesn't just have to stay flat, because you always put foam tape behind your stickers, and then it doesn't always have to be boring. No, use one or use all three. Okay, so again, in these seams, you would do the same thing for the washi and the ribbon, but you could just use border stickers. Okay, I'm gonna get something that shows off. Well, just play it. That would be cute. Okay, you see what I'm saying? You can absolutely do that. Now with this, you could absolutely put washi in these seams. Okay, where we had it, just like this. Okay, and then you could take a border sticker and put on top of that and just keep on building. Look at that. Look how now look how big that design got just by adding those two border stickers at the bottom. Okay, now we got washi, we got border sticker. I absolutely can come down here and I could play with some ribbon. Love. I mean, all that is 3 pieces of paper, and then we're playing with washi, border stickers, and ribbon. Does it get any easier than that? No. No, no, no. Never gets any easier than that. Okay, so that is the options with that. Okay. And so now we were going to work with these little 2 by 5.5 pieces. So what are some ideas? Because you know what I just showed you with the washi and the ribbon and the border stickers? You know you can all do that, all of that, just by going in the vertical fashion. Same thing. Exact same thing. I didn't even know how many different designs that was. I lost count after 15, so... There's so many ways. You could just have this simple design and just keep going. But you'll see that in our series, Go To Designs. But let's finish this series first, Janet. Let's keep on going. Yes, okay. Oh my, I'm getting the wheelbarrow before the puppies. Okay, let's keep on going. Having too much fun. Okay. I love when a photo inspires me and then the colors just make it come to life. Yes, mood and feel, baby. Mood and feel. Okay, so again, let's say we have these 2 pieces of paper. Now, again, with your photo, don't be afraid. Your photo don't have to be in center. You can flush it to the left, flush it to the right. It can be anchored up here. It can be anchored down here. And let me talk about that right now. Say you have more than one photo. That's okay. You can shift your papers down, shift them up, and however you want to accommodate. And then if you keep building with your washi and your ribbon and your border stickers, you're going to make this image bigger. So then you could absolutely get 4 photos on here. Okay? There's nothing wrong with, you don't have to use one. You can use as many as you want. Okay. So then we were talking about these, right? So what can you do now with these 2 papers? Well, you don't have to use them. But if you want to, again, you could use them to put your title on, to put your journaling on, or you can absolutely pull out your tools, which are your I have my hexagon punch, my shape punch, or your edge punch, and then don't forget, you also have your embossing folder. If you chose to pull that, you can put these in here, and then you could get some more design. You could put them both in. They're both going to fit. Yes. Okay. And then what you could do is absolutely use them as decorative elements as cluster bases. But you don't have to do that. That's just an option. You can give it an edge, or you can absolutely use this and just cut some, punch some shapes and use them around your page as well. Okay? It doesn't... I can't say that enough. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just a matter of having fun. Okay? And then you also, too, you could say you want to use the green but not the orange. You could cut that in half, put half up here, half down here, and again, that just makes your design go a little more on a diagonal design. It breaks up the horizontal band. Okay, what else could you do? Well, you could also, you could layer them, just like this, and to the left, to the right, layer up here, okay, layer down here, okay. You could absolutely do that. Oh, I like that. Okay, you could put some journaling or a big cluster. You could put your title here, journaling here, or vice versa. You could do any of that. Okay, or you also can skip. Okay, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. Some of my patterns are looking a little busy right now. Okay, and I knew I was going to run into this using a multicolor paper, pattern paper. But if I don't challenge myself, I'll never use that paper, okay? So that's why I have to challenge myself. So you absolutely can use these in different ways. There's no wrong way. And then again, you could use it, I think I did say, you could use for titling and also for journaling. Okay, just no wrong way. Now in the vertical sense, let's look at that for a minute. Okay, so of course with my one photo, you may have a photo here and a photo here. Okay, so if you want to do photos, two photos, you could put one here and say another photo, you could put one here. You put them in an angle, you could put them in a vertical, you could put them in horizontal, and then you could put your title. You could actually layer that. Put your title here, have another photo here, and put your journaling here if you want to do it in the vertical fashion. Yes, and then again, don't forget, you can use your edge punches. Okay, just leave them as they are and then run that through and give it a decorative edge, or maybe only skip one, use this one, punch a couple shapes and incorporate them in your clusters. Again, no wrong way. Or if you want to get fancy, run them through your embossing folder and then punch them into a shape. Yeah, that absolutely adds texture because that's what we're doing in this round. Okay. So then that would be some, as far as the design work. And then what you would do then is play with your titles. And don't forget you have this, okay? Now, for me, when I put this kit together, I didn't know. I had an idea of one photo set, but I didn't know I was going to be using this one. So I absolutely could skip these two because I'm getting so much color here. And I could absolutely go with this brown. Okay, so don't forget you have that bonus sheet that you can do anything with. You could use your edge punch. You could use your shape punch. You could run some through your embossing folder. You could use it for matting, okay? Because maybe these just aren't your cup of tea, okay? So you could use them in conjunction, okay? And now whatever you don't use on this layout, keep in a separate pile because then you'll have that extra to play with when we make our cards. Okay, so then of course, if you also pulled out scraps and 6x6, don't be afraid to use them in layering and clustering and matting, okay? Now, I'm not going to use that because I want to show how 4 pieces of paper can go. But don't forget, if you pulled these, you have that option too. Just play and have fun, okay? And then we are definitely going to, look at my pile here. Yes. We are definitely going to pull out our alphas and then our embellishments and have fun and play. But then also keep in mind that we were talking about texture. So I know I'm going to get wood veneer on here because I'm outside. Well, I have an outside photo, so you know I'm going to be adding some wood veneer. Yes. Okay. Yes. Wood veneer. Okay. And then don't forget we had these elements of texture as well. Felt, corrugated paper, burlap, cork. Wouldn't burlap be perfect? Or canvas? Yes. I don't know how I'm going to use those yet, but I'm going to figure that out, okay? Wish I had a die with this, but that doesn't mean you can't go pull one out, okay? Just because we pulled a couple tools, but if you see something else, say if you were doing something like this, and you were doing a fall page, and then you realize you had just recently bought a new pack of fall stickers, go pull them. Just because they're not in your kit doesn't mean you don't have to use it. Just go pull it, okay? And so this is what, I don't know if this punch will work through that canvas. We'll see what I come up with. Okay, so that is some different ideas as far as our bare bones page, what we're going to do with these pieces of paper. Again, you can flush it up, flush it down, flush it left, and flush it right. There's no wrong way to do that. Just have fun. And again, you can use more than one photo. I'm only using one for this series in this first layout. Okay, so that is how you simply can just play around with those 5 pieces of paper. Okay, and now hang on, and then I'll come back with my finished page and you will see which way I decided to go for layout 1. Okay, and I know I'm using that photo. Okay, so come back and I will have my finished page with more puppies. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I am back with my finished page and absolutely love how it turned out, and I also love how quick it was to do, because if you take away a lot of my elements, you know, my clusters, I have a 1 by 12 inch piece of paper, a 6 by 12, and a 1 by 12. That is all I have for my bare bones on this page. So again, you see how quick it is to do these pages when you're starting with this pre-cut papers, and then just a simple design, and then to make it fit the way you want. So let's talk about what I did as far as when I butted those pieces of paper up together. Okay, so on the top here, I simply used my yellow washi and I put it on white cardstock, and you can see that it makes a much bolder print of that washi. And so if I didn't, it would have just blended in with this photoplay paper too much. You wouldn't have been able to see it. And so then down here at the bottom, I added some brown border sticker, and then I added the element of ribbon. Okay, now some of you may be saying, well, where's your other 2 small pieces? Well, this is what's left of them, because I used them for my cluster bases and also to some decorative elements, you know, for embellishment. So I'll talk about those in just a minute. So when I added my ribbon, I said that when we were making the kit that I would show how I adhere ribbon. And so what I did was pretend this green ribbon is not here, and I would have what I did was I took my score tape and I applied it right to my paper, and then I put my ribbon on top, because I have found that using a score tape with ribbon means it won't shift in my page protectors years from now, and then it is very easy to it adheres very well, and then it stays very well. So then when I did the back, I just flipped it over and put a little bit more score tape here and here, and then I flipped over the edges of my ribbon. Okay, and then of course I used some washi and I covered up my brad. And so that is how I did my ribbon, and I just absolutely love how this ribbon adds texture. I mean, I love it. It reminds me of that Carhartt coat that my brother has on in the photo. Absolutely. When I talk about mood and feel, that's what I mean. Mood and feel. Absolutely. Okay, so then let's talk about the texture I did add. So you can see that I definitely added twine, and of course my wood veneer, and then corrugated paper, and then my ribbon, and then twine. I think I said that. And then my burlap right here. Yes, I made that into a little flag piece, and I'll talk about that just in a minute. Okay, so now let's talk about visual triangles, because that's something we've been talking about here for the last few weeks, and I will have a video linked below if you want to learn more about visual triangles, if you're interested in learning about more visual triangles. It's an easy way to decorate your page and then to know what to use to decorate your page. So you can see that I have 3 clusters right here. And then in my cluster here is my title. Okay, you can absolutely incorporate your title into a cluster. I could have came down here and put my journaling right here, and that had been in that 3rd cluster. And so then within my clusters, I have wood veneer, and then I also too have these leaves. And then within those leaves, you can see I used that same shape in each one of those clusters. So doing that means that I have a visual triangle of this shape within a visual triangle of the wood veneer, within a triangle of my clusters. So that is a triangle within a triangle within a triangle. Yes, and that's how you can absolutely keep your eye going back and forth with those repetitive elements. Okay, and then of course my wood grain enamel dots creates another visual triangle, and then the element of this orange, another visual triangle, and the element of this green, another visual triangle. And then if you can see, I have these word stickers here. And they say achievement every day and having the time of my life. And so, of course, I use those on purpose. And I'll talk about that just a minute. But again, they create a visual triangle. So when you're using supplies on your page and you're, you know, looking at those stickers and those wood veneer pieces and die cuts and things like that, you select the ones that help you emphasize your story, and it's like it's doing your work for you. It's just bringing that story more to home. That's exactly what you're doing. So with the words I chose, and then the title, and the use of this raccoon and this tree ring and the burlap and this ribbon, it all emphasizes my story about my brother and his his ranch that he has with these puppies. And so of course these puppies are named Trouble, let's see, Shelly and Willow. And one of those, I think the first and the third, are brother and sisters. Yes, he treats his animals so well. Yes, he absolutely does. And so he loved this page, and so I'm just absolutely tickled he likes it. Okay, so when you're adding texture to a page, one thing you need to consider is that it will create some bulk, and you have to keep make up for that using foam tape. So this banner piece, you can see this twine pulls up this die cut. So I absolutely can take some foam tape and put it behind that very top, and then that will level that out. You don't have to do that. It's just if you want to. But down here with this jelly bean tree ring circle, I had to definitely put in some foam tape on the back to even this out because of the addition of the die cut and then the burlap and the wood veneer. Yes. Okay. So now also I'll talk about my extra pieces here in just a minute. And then since we're talking about texture, I used corrugated paper and burlap. And so those are two type of elements of texture that are coarse. So you're going to have to use a different type of scissor. Sometimes dies you can't even use. They won't go through. Definitely your trimmer's not going to be able to use it. And so then I used my Tim Holtz serrated scissors, and they are the right job for that because they cut through both of those with no problem. None. Now with burlap, you're going to get some fraying on the edges, and that's burlap, so embrace that, okay? And then with this page, I had to use 3 different scissors just on this one page, okay? And so yesterday I had a video about what's on your work surface, so hop over and jump in and share what do you give prime real estate on your desk. I love reading that, and everybody would love to see that too, so please share. But yes, I had to use 3. This was for more of my coarse texture, and then Martha Stewart's for my ribbon, because these little jobbies, that's not going to cut ribbon, no. Okay, so now with my green piece, that 2 by 5.5, I actually used it and I hand drew just some leaves, and basically they're just like an elongated teardrop, or however they landed, looks like leaves, and I used that in this cluster. And then with this orange piece I had left over, I actually used my hexagon punch and I created this shape right here. Okay, can you see that shape right there? That's what I created, and I used a hexagon punch, and I'm going to share that in just a minute. So I'm going to find my piece of paper here. So this is that 2 by 5.5 piece of paper. Just pretend this is in my orange. And so I used my hexagon punch. Now pay attention as to where this asterisk is and the edge of this paper. Okay, so I'm putting it in my hexagon punch. Okay, and right here is the top of my hexagon punch, you know, point, and then I have a point here and a point here. So I want to make sure that this edge of my paper is below those 2 corners. Okay, and then this edge is going to butt up against this raw edge. Now I'm left-handed, so you might be a little backwards, but you're going to see exactly what I do, okay? And my hands are shaky. Oh, my hands are shaky. Okay, and that's exactly how you get that little banner piece, again with a hexagon punch. Now I've been showing different cuts you can get from a hexagon, so play around with your punches. You just never know what kind of shape you can get. And then this of course is what you would look like when it's cut out, and then I would use my trimmer and get a flush edge, and then because you know you're going to use that flush edge because you can get 3 of those, and I used all 3 of those orange from that 2 by 5.5 a piece of paper. So definitely use your punches, whatever shape punch you picked, or your edge punch, use that to your benefit. But another use for that hexagon punch. Love that. Okay, now with my photo you can see that I matted that, and the matting that I used for my layout was one of those 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, because remember I had 4 of them in my kit. 2 will be for cards and 2 is for matting, so that's what I used. I had entertained the thought of using my bonus sheet, but when I put that brown paper on there, it was too busy, so I went with this plain brown. Okay, now also to remember that you also in your kit, you may have put in 6x6 papers and scraps. So definitely play with them. Use your punches. Yes, and get your craft on. Absolutely. So I'm looking at my notes, and I think that's all I wanted to share. So come back tomorrow and we will talk about and actually do layout 2. And we're going to use 2 photos, but you don't have to, okay? Because in this layout, you definitely could have used more than one. That's just what I'm showing for the series, okay? So you could have used more than one and just change up the format of where your photos. And then also too, I used a horizontal design, but you can flip this and do a vertical design. There is no wrong way to do this. Just play with those pre-cut papers and have fun recording the story. Okay, so come back tomorrow and we will work on layout 2. Oh, and then if you're a 2-page gal, don't remember that whatever you do on the left, just repeat on the right, okay? Now you can also, if you're getting really, really crafty, you can do a horizontal band here on the left, and then when you come and do the right, there's nothing wrong with absolutely flipping that with the same patterns and the same papers and the same cuts. Just have horizontal on your left and a vertical on your right, and that makes an interesting page. And then you can really get in a variety of photo sizes with that type. But whatever you have on the left, you can easily just repeat on the right. Okay, so that is for layout 1 in our 4for4 series. So come back tomorrow and we will work on layout 2 with 2 photos. Okay, that's all I have for today. Come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye!